some of those men, then boys, were bigots in the real sense of the word. I mean, racists, if you want to call them that. But if you've ever tuned into the Life Malcolm show, we talk about colonialism, right, and colonizers. And so these students, these boys, now men, were the epitome of colonial conduct, and it was so cool that this Saturday, some of them were able to say, hey, I know that my conduct back then was so wrong. I treated you so wrong, because I was a stupid teenager, caught up with this, white, black BS, what have you. And, they were able to make, in my view, what was some genuine, principled apologies, and make some commitments to right those wrongs. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see how that works out. But it was a really tremendous experience. I think Casey is the first person in our class who died. The first person who graduated. There was this white boy. His name was Pat. He used to walk around in a black trench coat and he had red hair. He shot and killed himself, like in like freshman year, maybe sophomore year. So other than him, like the first person from our graduating class who died was Casey. And I showed up at Casey's memorial service because Casey was a really cool dude. I just mentioned to you a bit ago, like the bigots I encountered, the colonial conduct I had to deal with, those type people. Casey wasn't one of those people. He was just always a really cool dude. It was always a pleasure to be around him. And so when I got the email that said in memoriam of Casey Higgins, I knew exactly what it was. So, like I said, it was almost 30 years ago, but I knew the name and I remember the person. And I'm glad to have known him, and I'm glad that that occasion, Saturday, was a catalyst for what I think is some healing and redemption for some of my classmates and myself as well. I think we got to go to break right now. So look, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come right back on the Life Malcolm Show, and we just talking about a bunch of stuff because there's a lot of stuff been going on. It's been a while since we talked. So, oh yeah, let me tell you. Look, call in 813-444-9588. You can call and talk too. 813-444-9588. We'll be right back.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
Yo. All right, bro. We back. Just like that. Welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star and the biggest star is you. You know what? I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Life Malcolm. I'm your host. And yeah, that's me. You can check us out if you I don't know how you're checking us out right now, but you can check us out on www.intouchnews.com. You could go to YouTube and check us out on the In Touch News YouTube channel, and you can go to Facebook and check us out on the In Touch News page. And those are the ways you can tune in. As I mentioned right before our last break, you can call in at 813. I always want to give out my phone number, 813-444-9588. Always be trying to give out my phone number. Hey, all right. So Casey, that was something to talk about. So I don't know enough. Oh, let me talk about what I know about. I was gonna talk about the Orlando Goulds thing, but I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't know enough about it. So, but I'm gonna talk about stuff I know about when I tell you why I don't know about that. So, man, not last week Tuesday, but the week before that, I was in trial. I had a trial on Wednesday. If you don't know, I'm an attorney. I'm a lawyer. I'm a member of the Florida Bar. I practice criminal defense and civil rights, mainly. Do some other stuff as well, but mainly criminal defense and civil rights. So one of our clients had trial. Man, we've been waiting on this trial, man, like it seems forever. The court had some delays because of its schedule. Then the assistant state attorney had some delays. Then we had some delays, and like we've been trying to get this client before a jury since something like October, November, something like that. So we finally had the trial. Not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that. Was it the 28th maybe? I think it was like the 28th. And whatever the last Tuesday was, not Tuesday past, but the one before that. And man, it was a marathon. It was the longest time I've spent in trial. We got there. Trial was supposed to start at 9, but some people didn't show up until almost 9:45. So trial didn't really start until 10. We started with jury selection, and this judge, one of the best judges in the business, Pat Siracusa, really, really good judge. Fair, firm, helpful. If you miss something, he'll go off record and say, "Hey, counselor, I think you missed something," and help you through the process. It was just a really, really good judge. Loquacious though, and he knows that. He got stories. He got stories, and some of them are funny. And so his jury selection lasted a long time. We were in jury selection from like 10 o'clock until almost noon, for just with his questions. And then, of course, the state had to ask questions, and the state, I think, didn't get done until like 2, and then we had to ask our questions for the jury. So I think we picked got a jury by like around 3 o'clock. And so maybe slightly earlier. But anyway, the point is this. At 6 o'clock, the state still had one witness left, but it was around, mealtime. So the judge, granted a recess so that the jury could go back and decide whether they wanted to come back the following day at 10 o'clock in the morning or if they wanted to keep going with the trial on that day. And the judge thought that the jury would want to retire for the day. And we were all kind of ready to pack up and whatnot. This is in Pinellas. We kind of ready to pack up and dip. And then the judge came back and said they want to go. They want to go. And so we were in court. We finished. So we came back. After that break, we came back. The state brought on their final witness. And then we put on our defendant as a witness, our client as a witness, and then we put on his alibi witness. So we had 2 witnesses that testified, and the jury got the case at about 11 o'clock. So we were in court. Well, I was. I was in court from 8 o'clock in the morning until the jury came back 45 minutes later. They came back at like 11:45 with a not guilty verdict on all counts. So I was in court that day, that Tuesday, from 8 in the morning until 12 o'clock that night. Long day. Good trial though. We won. So good trial. And then it's a video too. Like on the IG and the Facebook, we put up a video. So that was that week. That's why y'all didn't see me like. So no, actually, so I said. So I think that trial was on Wednesday. I was preparing for that trial on Tuesday. That trial, I think, yeah, it was on Wednesday. Whatever, not Tuesday. It was a Wednesday. But I was preparing for the trial on Tuesday. It was a big deal. Dude was facing like something like 20 years in prison. And I think maybe he had a 10-year min man. I think he had like a 10-year minimum mandatory. So had we not prevailed, the judge would have had to sentence him to at least 10 years in prison, day for day type time. And like the judge was like, "Hey, that's your fiance back there, and that's your homeboy." The judge like, "Go hug him right now while the jury deliberating. Go hug him, because if the verdict comes back, if a 2-word verdict comes back, if a 1-word verdict comes back, then I can't let you hug him. If you don't get a 2-word verdict, you can't hug your fiance. You can't hug so go ahead and hug him right now." So he went and hugged him. And then after that, when came back out, he's like, "Hey, we're gonna bring him out they got a verdict." So this was when he first sent him back. And then when we got the word that we got a verdict, he said, "Hey, go hug him again, because if you don't get that 2-word verdict, you can't hug him." So he went and hugged him again. And then after that, he was hugging us and hugging them again, because we got that 2-word verdict, not guilty. And so that was that Wednesday. So fast forward 6 days later, I'm in Orange County in a trial. Did not know we were going to trial in Orlando, in Orange County, for this other case. Not as serious as far as the penalty is concerned, but this person was looking at 5 years in prison at the top. And the state had three cops testify, and 3 cops and somebody else testify. Was it 3 cops? Might have been 2 cops and some other goofy person testifying. And man, again, came through with the not guilty. So I'm part of a team that, since I've been a part of the team, has 5 not guilties in a row. 4 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. People looking at a lot of time, and we got them off. And so that's what I mean when I said been busy. Also, in case you don't know, back in the day, I used to promote and produce spoken word events. Started way back in the 2000s, as my younger children would say. They act like that's the olden days, back in the 2000s. So, but yeah, 2001 started this thing called Black on Black Rhyme. If you've tuned in on a regular basis to Straight Up Poetry, not Straight Up Poetry, to the Life Malcolm Show, you heard me talk about Straight Up Poetry and Black on Black Rhyme, etc. And you might have seen my comrades in rhyme, JB and Wally B, on the show with me as we celebrated Black on Black Rhyme Tampa's 20th anniversary last year in September. Well, on that show, the Life Malcolm Show that night, we decided that it would be, we began to entertain the idea of us doing another spoken word event. So Wally B ain't a part of it. He has other things going on. He can't make it happen. But me and JB at it. And man, we got this thing coming up called what we call it? Call it Soul on Mics. Soul on Mics. And it's gonna be a great event. April 28th, Thursday, April 28th at the Tampa Improv. And so but here's the thing, right? I'm out here in these streets. Yo, it ain't the same. I've been away from the game for like 6 years, and so I was 41, when I left the game. But I was already slowing down. I was doing a monthly show. I used to the Black on Black Run when I started in 2001. So 2001, I was like 26, and woo, you talking about stamina? Could stay up all night long, sometimes 2 and 3 days. Just be out in the club, just promoting and hanging out in the street all day. Doing sipping, whatever, doing whatever. Man, I felt it changing. And you have to imagine. I was in the club every night of my life from like 16 until 39, like every night except for when I was in a hospital, in a jail cell, or too sick from being out at the club all the time. Like, but those, I could literally count the number. I could count the number of times I was not in a club. like in from 16 to 39, like I could number them. I can actually go back and say I went. So it wasn't even a year's worth of days that I was not in a club. So I'm in the clubs, but now, woo, let me tell you something, man. This trying to promote this event is putting something on my old self. Woo, it's rough. It ain't like it used to be. I'm trying to be out here hanging in the club, passing out flyers, and
Are you saying you're getting older?
Woo! I'm saying I am old. They talk about the hill, over the hill. I am over the hill, and so, it's I gotta tell you though, I like it though. I like trying to do it. It's like my daughter, my youngest daughter. Actually, both of my youngest daughters got on the basketball team at school this year, and so like being in the club right now, trying to promoting and producing this event. It's like being on the basketball court with my daughters. I'm out there trying to shoot the free throws and trying to do the layups. We doing drills. And the next day, I realized that it's different. It's not what it used to. I won trophies, championships, but it's not what it used to be. Yeah, it's not what it used to be. So but yeah, so we that's another thing that's been keeping your boy busy. It's gonna be a good event. Got my man Bertrand Boyd II. Some of y'all might have seen him in Queen and Slim. Did you see that movie Queen and Slim? It's a good movie. Queen and Slim is a good movie. I don't, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but I will tell you he's the dude at the end driving the car and smoking and whatever. But before he became I ain't gonna call him a movie star because I don't know if he's movie star caliber yet. Though he should be, but I'm just saying I don't know if that's where he is in people's minds. But before I say this, before he began making appearances on the silver screen, he was a dope poet. I've known Bert. He used to call himself the youngster. I've known him since he was like 15, 16 years old. He's a protege of my main man, Will, the real one, Bell, who cats murdered in 2000 on May 29th, 2011. But he was a protege about a Miami-Dade County, and just a tremendous spoken word artist. So he's on the show, and then I got my man Kevin Sandbloom from L.A. White dude with a guitar and some hella vocals and songs, and he's doing his thing. We got some other special surprises. I'm hosting. My man JB gonna be on the set, so it's gonna be an incredible event. So just been really working hard to put that together for you. And like I said, it's not as easy as it used to be when I was a little bit younger. So but yeah, and so we're gonna talk a little bit more about a little more things when we get back. It's just good to really kick it with y'all. I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you're listening, and we'll see you on the other side of the plate.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
We right back at you on the Life Malcolm Show. Really want to appreciate you tuning in. You can call in at 813-444-9588 and holler if you want to. I was gonna say something. My pops. Called my pops today for his birthday. It's like, what's going on? And he turned 84 today. Man, my pops and I, our relationship has been an interesting one. I did not have the pleasure of growing up with my father. For the most part, my grandmother raised me. You know that if you've tuned in to the Life Malcolm Show before, or for on a regular basis. Yeah, I'm Ernestine's only biological child, and my father has 5 children. I'm the second to the youngest. So yeah, my younger brother is younger than me, and then it's me. So but yeah, my father and I, it's been an interesting journey. But now I think, right, we're at the age where we can both approach each other as men, as adults, and have a conversation that doesn't involve threats of harm. So I called him today, and he seemed happy. He asked me for something, and I was able to give it to him, and that made me happy. He's like, I tell you, there ain't no secret. He was like, 'cause I think he was joking. I really do. 'Cause he was like, I was like, just reaching out in acknowledgement of your birthday. He was like, oh, you ain't sending me $100. So you want $100? He said, yeah, send me I said, you got Cash App? He's like, no. He said, Cash Out. I said, no, do you have the Cash App? And he said, well, just send it to Deontay. That's my younger brother. I said, no problem. So I sent it to my younger brother, and my younger brother took it over to him. And then I talked to my father, and he was like, thank you. I told him that's the easiest thing I did all day. You know what I mean? Like, just that's the easiest thing I did all day. He said, he got a lecture for everything. He like, the easiest thing, what's so hard? What you do today that's so hard? I like, man, keeping people out of jail and prison. like that. And, so like I told you, when I told him that when he said my cousin died, I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You can't be sorry because God did. I was like, man, I'm sorry for the people who have to, go through it. I feel for them and what have you. But anyway, yeah. But it's just cool, man. Like I really, that was a good moment for me. That because I wanted to give it to him. I could give it to him. I think it made him happy. I think it's gonna help him. I think he said he's gonna pay a bill or something. Whatever. But
As a father, I know there was a good moment for him. He's been waiting on that.
Yeah.
And that moment, not the $100, but the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it really made my day. I'm glad
What
he
a day.
asked. And because there was a point in my life when I probably would have had a struggle with that. Either because I didn't have it or because I didn't want to do it. But today, I had it and I wanted to do it. And like it was just too easy. That's it. Here you go. And I'm glad he ain't asked for 1,000. But talk about Orlando Gould's thing. I want to say this, man. I don't know enough about it yet. I don't know anything about the accusations. But what I do know is the people calling Orlando names, you know, and man, yeah, I'm gonna just say it like that for now, cause I would say this: I don't have no problem naming the person, just don't know that this is the correct venue to name the person, but I will. Name the person. I mean, this person talking about calling Orlando names, and I hope he can sue her. I hope he does. So I know he can. I hope he does. Because that's and the it, I remember. I remember when these four boys from Plant High School, four white boys from Plant High School, sexually assaulted this high school girl. She was also three of the boys were still students at Plant. One had graduated, and they all raped this girl, sexually assaulted this girl in an SUV on homecoming night. The girl's mother and all the white boys' parents and everybody rallied around them and said, "These are our children." They didn't prosecute them until after, the ones who were still in high school. They didn't prosecute them until after graduation, because they were football players. The three still in high school, they were football players. They had chances at scholarships, and criminal prosecution would perhaps disrupt their potential to go to college on athletic scholarships. And these white people made a concerted decision not to prosecute these white boys. Even the mother of the girl who was raped, was like, "No, these are our children, and we got to protect them." And you see that happen over and over again in the white community, not just I mean, that's one of the most extreme examples, but it's a striking example. But you see it all the time. Everybody, we don't do as good a job at protecting ourselves and members of our community as others do. And this Orlando thing is a striking example of that. And so I had the opportunity to reach out to the brother and let him know I'm with him, because he's part of us. And although we have some really big political differences, I used to be a cop. I mean, and y'all know me. I'm anti-cop, anti-police. That's me. But he's still an African. And if there is chastisement, admonishment, or admonition and punishment that he deserves, then he should get it from our community, and we should be in control of that. But we should not, persecute him because of what people from people who aren't in our people who never do anything for us, who don't care about our community. They don't get to say how we handle that. If we gotta handle it, we gotta handle it, and we should handle it with a certain kind of firmness, fairness, and African love. It's not this beration and malice and hatred and stuff like that. And it's so important. It's so important. And I've seen other communities do it, and I see how people who are the receivers of that kind of admonition and punishment, and they have to deal with what they did wrong. But when you do it in a way where you thump lightly, where it's loving, where it's respectable, and you still allow people to continue to live and to redeem themselves, without tearing them down. We got to get better at that. And I think we run out of time. So look, you got some remarks? Look like you're gonna say something.
I wanted to know, how would we do that as a community? how would we admonish him? What would be our actions?
So number one, I don't know if he did anything wrong. So let me say that. Like I'm just
Let's say that he did.
yeah, okay. Well, but I just want to be clear.
Absolutely.
That I don't know.
Neither do. Yeah.
I can't
we're
validate
not
the
saying
allegations or anything like that. But to answer the question, I really don't have a setup and cookie cutter, answer for that. But what I do know is we are resourceful people. We can figure out a way to make him pay, whether it's money, like say he did something to I think it's sexual allegations, and I don't know if it's a young person, I don't know, but pay for her college, pay for her children's college. I mean, we could make it work for us where he paid where that a person who wrongs us, like for example, I'm a criminal defense attorney, right? I represent criminals, people who did stuff. Some of them did it, you know what I mean? And so if you sold the dope that killed somebody and you come to me and say you need me to defend you, guess what? If it was African, for sure, guess what? You got to pay. You're going to have to pay for what you did to our community. And it's going to teach you something. I'm going to help you, but you're going to have to pay. You should pay. You understand? Before I became a lawyer, I used to think like guys who didn't pay child support, not even child support, African men who did not take care of their children. We shouldn't play basketball with them. When they come to the basketball court, we should leave the court. You can't play with us. When you come to the club, we got your face at the club. You can't get in the club if you don't take care of your child. Your face on the wall. You can't party with us. We can't hang with you if you don't take care of your children. Like those types of things. So that's why I say I don't have a set answer for this particular thing, but I know we are resourceful and imaginative and creative people, and we can find a way to make sure that not only he pays, but he pays in a way that helps him and helps our community. Helps him and helps the person victimized by that conduct. You see what I'm saying? So
I do. So before you go, the slap.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this right here. Number one, I think it's in my mind. I can't imagine it's not staged. I really can't imagine it was not staged. Cause yeah, I mean, but let's say it wasn't staged, right? It looked like the biggest WWF moment I've seen since WWF left and then became WWE. It looked so WWF. But I will say this: if it wasn't staged, Will Smith had a point. I remember one day when during the mayoral race, I saw somebody I know in a paper as endorsing the mayor, and I couldn't find. I know him and his wife, and I couldn't. I've known the wife. I had a relationship with the wife longer, but I know him, and I had his number, and I didn't have the number saved, like in how I don't think I had it saved at all, but I had his wife's number saved again because like I've known her, and so I reached out to the wife, trying to reach him, and to talk about like why you endorsing this person for mayor. And the brother got on the phone and said, "Yo, I wish you hadn't. Don't call my wife with that." And the right out of my mouth was, "You right." I really didn't call for her. I want to talk to you, because I don't talk to men's wives. I don't talk to men's wives. I don't talk about men's wives. And I might even know the wife, but I'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Husband, is it okay? Can you ask your wife if she can be on the show?" Like, say if I want her on the show, I'd be like, I'm not going to call her. I'm going to call the husband. Say, "Mr. Husband, can you ask your wife, can she be on the show?" Because I just, if I see a man's wife in the store, I know the man and I know the wife, and I see her in the store and she says hello, as soon as she gets out my face, I'm calling the husband. "Hey, I just saw Mrs. Wife at the store. We said this, we said that. We talked about 30 seconds, a minute, or whatever you, and do that."
Is that chauvinistic?
Huh?
Is that chauvinistic?
No. That's CYA, because she can't never say life said something to me that's out the way. You see what I mean? And so, Chris, comedy and all that. I spent, like I told y'all, I spent years on stage. I spent a lot of nights on stage every week for 13 years, 14 years. I ain't got to talk about nobody's wife, yo. I think it's just, yeah. So I mean, Will had a point. I mean, did he do it in the best way? I don't know. He should have probably waited till he got backstage. but yeah. But if it wasn't staged, I can't be mad at Will. So yeah. You can't be talking about people's wives and children, man. Yeah. Hey, so listen, check this out. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I wrote a poem a long time ago. It's called Jaws. Because it's like the concept is there's a shark in the water, right? I was talking about being the spoken word artist, full time, and I had the line in the poem. There's a line in the poem that says, "Just because the sign says open mic," he said, it says, "I'm a poet, and you think I'm cool or what?" That's something that you don't assume. Just because the sign says open mic don't mean that your open mouth won't get you open wounds. And I wrote that years ago. Just because the sign says open mic don't mean your open mouth won't get you open wounds. And not only did I live that way, because I hit you if you say something, but I also didn't say stuff that would make people want to hit me, unless I was ready to get hit. You know what I mean? So. Right.
And I agree with. I didn't like what he did, but I feel what he did.
Yeah.
It just happened. What do you think about the slap versus a fist?
Slap versus the fist?
Or does it matter?
That's one reason why I think it's staged. Cause I mean, like, where in the, only in Hollywood. I mean, who can you hit and then walk away without dying?
Not only that, I don't imagine slapping a man now. I'll hit him.
Yeah.
But slapping him.
I ain't just gonna hit him once. Like, what? I mean, how does that work? Like, I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna hit you until you can't hit me back. I'm not just gonna hit, pow, and then turn around. like it just seemed really cheesy. But I think the reason why that whole thing happened is so nobody would talk about Wesley Snipes. That he looked like he terrible. He's in terrible shape, terrible condition. So I think they had Will slap Chris, so nobody talked about Wes.
Let's hope you're right.
All right. But yeah, man, hey, listen, this has been the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, and I really appreciate y'all tuning in, listening. I hope you had a good time, learned a little bit of something. I think I said some things that you can learn from. And we'll talk about the Russia-Ukraine thing later. And yeah, all right. So to continue, y'all.